100 people.
Okay.
So everybody is just trying to quickly join.
Okay.
So just give us like some minutes, but don't go off.
Okay, no problem. No problem. I'll hang around. Thank you.
All right, so we are also live on YouTube. So if you have friends, you can share them our YouTube link on the WhatsApp group so they can join us if they are not able to make it, to the event or to the meeting on YouTube. Sorry, on Zoom. All right, so we are also live on YouTube. So if you have friends, you can share them our
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. I'm excited. Good to have everybody. I can see Toyi Umuna. Our speaker is already in the house. I can see Apostle Buki Williams, Onita Lolua Kemi. Thank you so much for being a part of history. Thank you very much for welcoming each and every one of you. We appreciate your coming. So once it's 8 on the dot, we'll start. Welcome to every one of you. I can see Kadri, Toluolu, Femi, thank you for coming. Fumi, Faiweimi, thank you, good to have you in the house. Wale Obimbe, God bless you, sir. Thank you for coming so early. Shadi Olupiton, thank you so much for being here. Brother Shola, thank you so much for being here. Our speaker is already on board. We have 15 people already in. And we have like 11 minutes to 8. So let's just be patient. We have more people coming on board. Thank you so much for coming very early. We have Olufumi Palomeras, pardon my pronunciation. Thank you so much for coming. And we have a comment here. Thank you for putting this up. Without you, there's no health vibe to Musumola. We appreciate your contribution. You and I are changing the world. Thank you very much. Our speaker is already in the house. If you need to share the link, please do share the link. You need to invite someone, please invite somebody. I are changing the world. Thank you very much. We have 8 more minutes. We'll start any moment from now. I are changing the world. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Please kindly mute your mic, please.
Hi, Mosumola. Please kindly unmute your mic. Your mic is on mute right now.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello, Buki, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Wow, we're 27 in the house right now. We'll start any moment from now. We have 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, we'll kick off. We have Dr. Festus in the house. Irene Ikemefuna, thank you so much for joining. Julie Adibowale, thank you for joining. June Olamide Alawade, my darling friend, thank you for joining. Kadri, thank you so much for being here. Mercy Ajadi, thank you. Ede, thank you so much for joining. Noye, love you, sis. Oluwafumilayo, thank you. Thank you. Omotola, thank you for being here. Onitilo Lukemi, thank you. Ronke, thank you for joining. Shadio Lupiton, thank you. I have Samsung. Uju Opala, thank you so much for joining. Fuski, I appreciate you. Emma Johnson, thank you very much for coming. FK Lawal, thank you. Alao Christopher, thank you for coming. Yemi Onokoya, you're welcome. We have 3 more minutes, then we'll start. We have almost 40 people in the house. This is really encouraging. Sophia Milton, you're welcome. Shola Olamuyiwa, you're welcome. Two more minutes and when we join.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Once again, we welcome you. Thank you so much, Musmola, for the warm welcome. I just want to implore everyone that we can follow Health Vibes with Musmola and also Ireti on Instagram, Talk Sex with Ireti, and also Health Vibes with Musmola on Instagram and also on Facebook. You can do that right now and also share the link to your friends and family so they cannot miss out on this. We will be starting shortly, very soon. So please, let's endeavor to do all these engagements before we begin so you can pay full attention while in the meeting. God bless you all. Welcome once again.
Thank you very much, Buki. We have 2 more minutes to go and we start. Thank you very much, Mercy Ajadi. Thanks for coming. Now we have 40 people in the house. Two more minutes and we go. Our host is already in the house. Deborah Taiwo, you're welcome. Angela, you're welcome. Justina, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, can you kindly mute your microphone? Thank you. One minute to go. Can we kindly mute our microphone so that we can all have a wonderful time tonight? Good evening, everybody. I have less than 1 minute to go, and we have 44 people in the house. Really, really encouraging. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you very much. It's 8 o'clock on the dot. It's a great pleasure having each and every one of you here tonight. My name is Mosumola Dosumo. I'm your community pharmacist of over 23 years, a videographer and a menopause expert. And I'm your host on Health Vibes. Health Vibes is an online, on-site public health advocacy and awareness program that focuses on various health issues within the Nigerian society and ways to deal with them. We started worm infestation. We started with worm infestation. Sorry for the distraction. Okay. I think the speaker is trying to share her slides. We started with worm infestation at Makoko village in Lagos, sometimes in February 2021, where we dewormed over 3,000 inhabitants, both children and adults. We were proudly supported by Reals Pharmaceuticals. Sometime in July 2021, we started our moves on menopause. The Meno Club was started on 24th of May, 2020. It is the first and only support group for men and women from the ages of 30 years old who knows that aging is inevitable and they want to seek for knowledge to live a healthy life. We discuss different topics that affect the seniors. We have been privileged to bring in 2 consultants, a psychiatrist and a gynecologist. As of today, we are almost over 800 members and still growing all over the world. This is amazing. And you see everybody, people are joining every minute, which means Nigerians want more knowledge on how to live a healthy life. Today, to you, our own sex therapist. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk sex with Ireti. Please kindly write your questions in the chat box or on the Meno Club page. Ireti is the founder of Let's Talk Sex with Ireti. She's a clinical sexuality coach that is focused on teaching the art of giving pleasure to married couples, older couples, intending couples, and very matured singles. She has clinical certification from Dr. Richel's Institute, USA. Ireti is married with children. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as Ireti leads us into her teaching on how to give pleasure to older couples. Over to you, Ireti.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me very well. So I
yes,
know
we
that.
can. Yes, we can.
So good evening, everyone. Good evening, Maz. Good evening, Stars. Good evening, Mrs. Mosumola. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm very excited to do this with you. Okay, and it's an honor to be here tonight. I mean, it's actually really nice to know that older couples are also, interested in these aspects, talking about sexual pleasure, because when it comes to sex, it's usually more, common with the younger couples, the newly married couples, and the likes. So when Madam Mosumola approached me and she was like, oh, okay, this is specifically for older couples. More importantly, ladies and men in their menopausal stage, I was like, oh, okay, this is fantastic. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to do this. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'd also like everyone to be relaxed, okay? You're going to enjoy this session, all right? Make sure, I hope you have your notepads with you. Why? Because there's a whole lot you're going to be benefiting from this particular session. I'd also like to encourage you all to not just listen, all right? Let's participate. And even after the session, make sure you are exploring every tip that will be shared here with your partner, with your spouse, with your husband, with your wife. Why? The reason is because so you can find this session very beneficial. And sex is explorative, you know, sex is explorative. So until you actually bring yourself to explore everything that will be shared, then that's when it's really going to make sense to you. All right, so talking about menopause and sexual pleasure tonight, before I talk about menopause and sexual pleasure itself, all right, I know Madam Osmola just introduced me, okay, and for those that are just joining again, my name is Ireti Oba-Okojie. So what I do basically, I teach sex pleasure, all right, to intending couples, married couples, mature singles, and also older couples. So tonight on menopause and sexual pleasure, I'm sure you all can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So I'm going to be starting with menopause itself, andropause. I know we have an idea of, we know what menopause is. Majority of the audience here are probably in their menopausal stage, right? And also andropause is also the menopausal stage in men, all right? So it's called andropause. So I will be helping you understand how this is related to sex, all right? So when you have a proper understanding of how this can affect and influence your sex life, right? When you understand the basics, then it's easier for you to be willing and to know how to also, want to improve, on and exploring different ways to enjoy sexual pleasure with your partner. So when it comes to menopause, first of all, this is a phase that you stop seeing your menstrual period, and there is the perimenopause stage, right? That's the period before you actually achieve menopause, where your cycle becomes irregular. From this phase, so this is also for those of us that are in our 30s, when you're approaching your 40s or in your early 40s, you're likely to experience this. So you begin to experience, hot flashes, irregular cycles. You begin to experience a decrease in your libido. Sometimes you desire sex. Sometimes you may not desire sex. This aspect prepares you for menopause. So it's beginning to tell you that something is about to happen. There's a change that is about to happen with your system. Now, for the men as well, all right, you also experience this as well, okay, when you're approaching your 40s, early 40s, late 40s. For men, the age can vary, all right? The age can vary. For some men, you see that in your early 40s, for some men, late 40s. For some, it's even until they're in their 50s, all right? So this stage in men is also called andropause. So it's menopause in women, it's andropause in men. And there are a whole lot of factors that can influence this, when you begin to notice all of these factors like mood swings, depression, headaches, weight gain. When there's a decrease in sexual desire as well at this stage. You'll see that when you're in your younger years, right? You have more energy, right? You have more energy to participate in sexual activities. You may even go for 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 10 rounds, 8 rounds. Yes, I've had a lot of my sessions, and I hear, I had like 8 rounds. You have sex all through the night. And I'm like, oh, really? So, in your younger years, you're very active, you're agile, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of muscle, everything, the motivation, the focus is superb. But then as you begin to age, as you begin to grow older and get to this stage, all of these begin to decline. Now, all of this, right, like I said, you may even experience a mild erectile dysfunction. So this is for men as well. So you're not, it's not just for the women, all right? Women are not alone in this, all right? So I need the women to also understand that men also experience this, right? They also have this phase, okay? So, erectile dysfunction, even weight gain and a whole lot. Now for the women, it's accompanied with nausea, forgetfulness, even heart palpitations, vaginal dryness. So I'll break this down gradually as we progress with the session, okay? So my next slide here, all right, is you understanding your sex drive, which is very, very important before we get to the part of sexual pleasure. So let me start with the ladies first, okay? Now, when you are in this phase, okay, whether you are just achieving menopause or you are in the menopausal stage already, or you are in the postmenopausal stage. There's also the postmenopause. That means, you've actually, you've exceeded, everything that has to do with menopause. But at the same time, it just tells that, yes, you are now in that old stage. And, it's just assumed that because you're getting older, you can't enjoy sex again. It's a very big lie. It's a very big lie. Just as we have younger couples exploring, doing all sorts to enjoy sex together, older couples can also do the same. And this is achievable when you understand that when you are in this stage, some changes will occur. Now, when you understand these changes, right, it helps you prepare your mind to understand how well you can, enjoy sexual pleasure with your partner. Now, for example, when you are in this stage, okay, your level of estrogen drops, all right? This is a hormone that is responsible for your sex drive, for how well you lubricate, okay? So you see that naturally you experience vaginal dryness. You might even experience pain during sex, even tears, right? And you're wondering what's going on. So you graduated from someone with a spontaneous sexual desire pattern. There's a mind shift already because you are in this stage. Before, when you were younger too, you can enjoy sex spontaneously. So even when you're less prepared for sex and your husband just comes around and is touching you, before you know it, you are wet, you are very aroused, you're excited, there's a heightened sensitivity for sex. But then you see that as you get to this stage, or you are actually in this stage, no matter what your husband or your partner does to you, you're unable to experience that high level of arousal. And you begin to wonder what's going on, So when there's a low level of estrogen, all right, it reduces the blood supply to your vagina that can make you lubricate. So automatically, you're going to be experiencing vaginal dryness, okay? Now, you're also going to be experiencing a low level of arousal. The time it will take you to get sexually aroused in this phase is definitely different from the time it took you, in those younger years to, get excited. When your man touches you and the body's just doing, you're very wet and you are all over him, everything just changes, all right? So you're going to be experiencing low level of arousal, all right? Low level of estrogen, like I said, vaginal dryness, and also a reduced sexual response. I said something the other time, so let me break it down really well. So I said something like, once upon a time, you used to be very spontaneous with sex. Why? Because you were still young. There's probably no, there wasn't so much responsibilities then, right? But in this stage, you're older, you're faced with more work pressure, you're faced with other overwhelming activities. It could even be your children, even grandchildren, This is the stage where, oh, my children will be getting married soon, or my children are married already, different things. You're in your retirement stage, or you're approaching your retirement stage. There's just a whole lot, family issues and all of that. All of this put together, coupled with this stage you are now, can actually have an adverse effect on your sexual response. All right. So you naturally have a mind shift from enjoying spontaneous sex, from spontaneously, desiring sex, to being rigid. I don't want to use the word rigid. Let me use another word. To being responsive. Okay. So when I mean responsive, what I mean is that when you get to this stage, it's going to be more of a sex. When you have to be able to find yourself to when you want to have sex, how you want to have sex, where it's going to take place. I mean, you respond to all of that. That is what can actually help you get aroused. All right. So for the ladies, once again, for the women, reduced sexual response, low level of arousal, low level of estrogen, vaginal dryness is going to take place, all right, in your menopausal stage. Now, for the men, okay, so for the women is estrogen, for the men is testosterone. So you experience a low level of testosterone, all right? So when you have low levels of testosterone, naturally, your libido declines. There is a decrease in your libido. You have a dampened sex drive. So you're not, you won't really desire sex like the way you would, right? You might feel some level of arousal or even think that, I think I desire sex. But you see that when it's now time for action, action is me now, like how we used to do it before, all right? And I'm also aware that, some men in this stage, when they begin to notice this, they take all sorts. You take Viagra, you take different things, or you make sure you're loaded with alcohol. And you see that because it is just andropause that is taking place, even when you load yourself with alcohol, you will slip off, you get tired, because you can't cheat nature, right? Nature is what is playing with your system here. So the better you understand all of this, the better it is for you. All right. So these are basically what you experience. So you have a low level of testosterone. You see that your sexual energy is reduced as well. The sexual energy is reduced. The focus and motivation for sex is also reduced. All right. Yeah. So now, these other aspects, all right, is what actually affects your sex drive. This is the main place before we get to the real place. Okay. So now, we've talked about what you experience, what your sex drive is like when you are experiencing menopause, andropause. All right. Now, there are also factors, all right, that can influence your sex drive. So you now know that, okay, at this stage, I'm over 40, I'm in my late 40s, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 60s, I'm in my 70s, and I feel this way. I experience dryness. I don't just have the energy for sex, even though in my mind, I actually feel like I desire sex, but I can't just explain why I can't just give that energy I used to give, like when I was younger. All right. So these are normal, all right, in this space. Now, there are also other factors that can affect all of this that have been mentioned. For example, at this stage, we can't deny that, majority of the older couples, all right, are on lifetime medications, high blood pressure, some are diabetic, and some other long-term pills. Now, all of these have side effects, all right, which can actually affect your sex drive. Okay, so these are triggers that we are beginning to identify before we get to the part of what exactly can we do to enjoy sex. Okay, now there's also a lack of adequate sleep. You know, I said something the other time. This is the period where, you know, there's a whole lot going in your mind. I mean, it could probably you're too anxious, anxiety, and it could be depression. You know, I want things to work out well for my children. Are my children really doing fine? Are my children really doing good? Work, you know, so many things that you're trying to do at the same time, all right? Which can affect your sleep, you know. So when there is lack of adequate sleep, it can affect your sex drive, all right? Now, when there are also underlying sex issues or health issues, if there are underlying health issues, you know, I mentioned diabetes the other time, high blood pressure, even gynecological surgeries. You know, this is the phase whereby some ladies would have, you know, gone for hysterectomy, fibroid, you know, and a whole lot more. All right. So all of this can actually affect your sex drive. Okay. Now, when there is lack of exercise, okay, lack of exercise, you are not exercising properly. You know, I know that in this stage, you know, you're older, your energy to exercise might be reduced compared to maybe when you were in your 30s or, you know, early 40s or something, right? Now, for this, okay, you can just do the little you can. What is really important here is consistency, okay? When you're consistent with exercise, it helps, all right? It can boost your sexual energy. It can boost your libido. I'll talk more about this when I get to the part of sexual pleasure, all right? But then lack of exercise can also affect your sex drive, okay? Now, lack of proper foreplay. This one is the main deal. You know, as older couples, you know, I remember when I engaged an older couple in one of my private sessions, and, you know, the husband was like, Ireti, don't tell me that thing, Joe. We are old now, and all those things we used to do those days, I don't think it's necessary anymore. And I was like, sir, this is where you're getting it wrong. So yes, you might be older in age, but it doesn't still stop your sexual enjoyment. It doesn't stop you from exploring more foreplay. In fact, based on, all right, and research, at this stage in your older years, more foreplay is encouraged. More foreplay is even encouraged than intercourse itself, because we understand that at this stage, your desire for sex is on a minimal level. You know, it's on a minimal level. You don't always feel like wanting sex. So when you take when you take part in elongated more foreplay, you spend more time engaging in foreplay, it can actually help you to desire this more. So what I'm trying to say here is that lack of proper foreplay here can affect your sex drive. Now, lastly, this one is the real deal. When there is no affection, no show of affection or passion in any way. You know, when it comes to marriage, relationships, marriage, especially marriages that, you know, at this stage, I mean, some of you would be like 20 years of marriage, 30 years, 20-something, 30-something, 40 years of marriage, you know, 15 years of marriage, you know, depending on the duration of marital years, right? Now, if you would agree with me, you would see that how you both relate, the level of affection you show yourself in the early years of your marriage, right, is more. You're likely to be over each other in the early years of your marriage. I mean, the affection is just setting. I mean, people are new to each other, and you're passionate about each other. And then over time, I mean, same person over the years, you see that at some point, there's a decline. There's a decline, not that you don't love your partner anymore. Your partner doesn't love you. It's just natural, which is what I'm trying to help you on here, right? The level of affection or passion will reduce without you knowing. So this is where you become intentional about it. all right? When there is no show of affection or passion, all right, it can dampen your sex drive, okay? So all of this put together is what affects your sex drive. So just imagine this is happening, everything that I've listed here. Maybe one of it is already happening to you right now. Maybe you don't sleep well. Excuse me. Maybe you don't sleep well. Maybe you're under a long-term medication. Maybe you're experiencing depression. Maybe you're experiencing some level of anxiety. You don't exercise. You know deep down inside you that you desire some level of affection, but you're not getting it, right? You desire some level of passion, but you're not really getting what you want. All of this, all right, can affect your sex drive in your menopausal phase. All right, in your andropausal phase, in your menopausal phase. Okay, so now that we can recognize the triggers here, all right, now that we can recognize the triggers, we can recognize, these factors that can affect our sex drive in this stage, right? Now, it's time to now know what exactly we can do to combat all of this, to enjoy sexual pleasure. All right. Now, first of all, before I begin the aspect of sexual pleasure, all right, I'd like you to, you can put this down, all right? Intentionality, being intentional, okay? So even as older couples, right, when you have this at the back of your mind, that you have to be intentional about your sex life, it's really going to help a great deal. This is where the psychological part of comes in. Sex is not just physical. It's not just the intercourse per se. It begins from the mind. It's a mindset. Okay, so it starts from your mind, and then it's what you bring to life in the physical. All right. So when you know all of this, so now that we've discussed the possible factors that can be affecting you in this stage, everything that has been shared, right? You have it at the back of your mind. Okay, so I know that. Oh, all right. So maybe I'm experiencing stress now. Maybe a part of it. I'm experiencing this. I don't exercise. Everything I just said all the time. And they're like, okay, so all of this can actually come to play. All right. Now, to improve and enjoy sexual pleasure in this space, first of all right, let's start from here. I told you earlier that your low level of estrogen would cause vaginal dryness. I mean, in this stage, the blood supply to your vagina is minimal. So it's just normal for you not to be wet. So your partner, your husband touches you, right? He tries to touch you, he's touching your breast, he's touching your vulva, he's trying to finger you, he's trying to do all stuff to you, but you're not getting wet, When it's time for intercourse or penetration itself, you experience pain, you experience tear, when there is pain before penetration, you can have a tear, right? I'm sure some of you would have been experiencing that, right? Now, first of all, a lubricant is key. Get a lubricant, all right? We call them vaginal lubricants, all right? Lubes, okay? There are different kinds of lubricants, okay? It is highly encouraged at this stage, all right? The reason is because when you use lubricants, now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't replace your level of wetness. No, that's not what it does, because some people confuse the use of lubricants as replacing their lubrication. No, not exactly, all right? What it does is that it enhances, sexual pleasure, all right? It makes it wetter, it makes it sweeter and smoother for penetration. So when you are in this stage, you make it you make it compulsory, all right? It's compulsory. After this session, please make sure you get a lubricant, preferably a water-based lubricant. We call them water-soluble lubricants, okay? Water-soluble lubricants, water-based lubricants, whichever one you like to call it, all right? Preferably water-based. The reason why I'm hammering on water-based is because there are also other types of lubricants, oil-based lubricants. And the reason why I would not want you to use an oil-based lubricant is because when you use an oil-based lubricant, all right, if you still wear condoms, if your husband wears condoms or you wear condoms, it can break the condom. I mean, they are not latex friendly, all right? So they are not latex friendly. And we also can say that because you're in this stage, I mean, we know that, I mean, you're probably not ovulating anymore, so there's no likelihood of pregnancy. So I know that, excuse me. So I know that sex without condoms, unprotected sex is, you know, rampant in levels like this. Okay, but then if you are also going to have sex with a condom, all right, you also need to be sure. Okay, you need to be sure that you're using a water-based lubricant so you do not damage the condom. All right, and also when you use an oil-based as well, it can cause a lot of friction, you know, it can cause a lot of friction, which might still end up making you feel some level of pain, all right? We want you to enjoy sex. I want you to enjoy sex. I want you to experience the pleasure. So everything to help you experience pleasure is what I'm going to be speaking about. All right. So water-based lubes, like I said, all right, very important. It helps you reduce the level of dryness or even take vaginal dryness away automatically. All right. Of course, you can use vaginal moisturizers, massage oils. Now, for lubricants, this is what you are doing. All right. So you're putting a lubricant, you're applying. So you're applying a lubricant, okay, on your vulva, not inside your vagina. You're applying a lube on your vulva. You know, the vulva is the outside part, okay? That's where your clitoris is, your vaginal lips, you know, the labia minora, majora, you know, where it is, okay? So you basically apply lubricant here. Right?
This word,
okay, you want to ask a question, Ma? Okay. All right, so you apply lubricant here. You apply lubricant on your penis as well. All right, apply lubricant on your penis before penetration. So you apply lubricant on the penis, you apply lubricant on the vulva. By the time you're ready for penetration, it just makes it smoother and sweeter. It makes it easier for penetration to happen. So instead of the, you know, you're taking so long to penetrate, you're feeling pain, the dryness is unexplainable, just save yourself the stress and get your lubricant, okay? Massage oils are also advised, all right? I mean, they are soothing, they are relaxing. This is where you want to do some level of, you know, you want to massage your bodies and enjoy yourself, all right? Okay, so please let's have this at the back of our mind. Now, I'm graduating to this part now. Physical intimacy. To enjoy pleasure in this phase, physical intimacy is strongly advised. Now, what's physical intimacy? I mean, let's start from within, right? Love and affection, okay? At this stage, because of the hot flashes you experience once in a while, right? I mean, for some people, it's even all the time. You know, you experience mood swings. The hot flashes and all of that. There is a high level of affection and love that is strongly encouraged. This is the emotional part. When you show affection to your partner, okay? This also applies to men as well. So not just to women. Remember, for men as well, they experience andropause. So It's vice versa. So as a wife, you should be showing affection to your husband. As a husband as well, you should be showing this level of affection to your wife, all right? So it's not one-sided, actually, because the goal there is to help you both enjoy sex together, and not just that only women are enjoying sex or only men are enjoying sex. It should be mutual. You should enjoy it together, all right? So show your wife love. You know how you show yourself love. Is it buying gifts? Is it taking yourselves out? You want to take a walk together? You know, all of this encourages effective communication. And when you're able to communicate well with each other, let me tell you what it does at this stage. Because you are in this menopause stage, all right, you will see that everything about you is changing. So honestly, you need that aspect of communication to be able to communicate with your partner such that your partner understands how exactly it is doing you. All right. So let me cite an example. So probably I'm in my 50s, right? And then I know that at this stage, I just want to have relaxed sex instead. I don't want so much stress. I mean, I enjoy sex in some kind of way, or I feel that if my husband should touch me a particular way, it will make me feel better. Right? You know all those things in your mind. Your husband will have no clue about this. He's not going to be guessing to guess right about how you want to be pleasured. So this is where communication should take place. How do you like it? Which way, whichever way, how do you still enjoy fingering? You don't like fingering anymore. Do you feel that if you should cup your breast in a particular manner, it's going to help you feel better? Do you feel that if you rub your back instead, it's going to help you desire sex more? I mean, only you knows what exactly can work for you at that moment. So when you take a walk together, when you stroll, take a stroll together, when you together, when you increase your level of show of love and affection, it's easier for you both to communicate to each other. You find it easier to tell yourselves how you both want to be pleasured. All right. So physical intimacy is strongly recommended. Okay. Now, the other aspect is having lots of foreplay. Okay. Now, at this stage, right, we already know that, I mean, there is a drop in your estrogen level, right? There is a drop in your level of sexual response. The way you respond to sex is not as high as how you used to respond to sex again. So now you have to be intentional about how you engage in foreplay. All right? Foreplay could be a naked shower. Foreplay could be a naked shower together. All right? Foreplay could be a sensual bath. So maybe in your bath, you fill it up with water, with some nice sensual oils, with petals. All of these are therapeutic. Okay, they are actually therapeutic. It might look like serere, because I remember the couple. They were like, "See all this serere that you're telling us. There's no time for all this serere." And I'm like, "Sir, man, you have to incorporate this serere into your sex life to enjoy yourself." The serere is very much needed because it's more like therapy. It's more like therapy. It is necessary, all right? So essential bath is fantastic. Essential bath will calm your nerves. It's going to help you feel relaxed. It's soothing. And before you know it, that arousal, that level of arousal, you start, the level of arousal is heightened because you are in a relaxed state, because you feel relaxed, okay? So this is different from those days when your husband will come in from work and he just pounces on you, and you two are already wet, you are ready to have sex because you're still young. But now, in your older stage, in this stage of menopause, it is unlikely to happen because there are just too many things involved. All right. So you doing these activities first can actually help you. All right. And it's not just tailored to women only, men as well. All right. Essential baths of magic, a naked shower. All right. Oral sex. Okay. Oral sex. Yes, older couples do enjoy oral sex. And I'm not going to tell you why you should incorporate oral sex if you've not been exploring oral sex, except you have your reservations. You know, I understand that this is Africa. We have our, personal reservations against some sexual activities, which is highly respected. So, but then if you're open-minded and you are willing to explore just any form of sexual act, I strongly recommend oral sex, right? It's an aspect of foreplay that can help you both to become highly stimulated, right? Now, for the woman, okay? The woman, at this stage, right? At this stage, like I said, your level of arousal is on the minimal, right? It's on the minimal. The way you respond to sex is on the minimal as well. But when oral sex happens, what it does is that it gives a direct stimulation, all right? A direct stimulation to your vulva. I mean, when your man puts his mouth on your clitoris, for example, the level of stimulation is higher than intercourse itself at this stage. Don't get me wrong, it's not like you can't have intercourse. Of course, you would enjoy sexual intercourse as well. But then, when you do these little things, all right, it stimulates you better as well and prepares you. It helps you, it helps the body become ready for sex. Okay, so if you do oral sex, for example, all right, now the tongue on the vulva, all right, gives a direct stimulation. At this stage, you have reduced sensitivity on your vulva. So your man touches your vulva and you're really not feeling anything. But then there's a difference. Mouth on your clitoris, that's a direct stimulation, can triple your response to sex, all right? Other than when nothing is happening before intercourse itself, right? So all of these are strongly advised. A massage, essential massage, very, very important. A massage is key. I mean, mommies and daddies, at this time, you're just together. You see, it's not everything that is even sex. It's not every time that you will even have penetrative sex itself. Sometimes a massage is therapeutic. It is calming. You've worked all day, or you've been overwhelmed with some things all day, and it's time to relax. At this stage, sex should be relaxing for you both. So both of you have your sex oil or your massage oil. Both of you are naked. Both you are naked, and then everybody can take the lead. Whether your husband is taking the lead or the wife is taking the lead, and you drizzle the oil all over, your bodies, right? And then using your hand to massage your bodies, right? Or you are gliding your body on his body. It is highly therapeutic. I mean, it can be from a zero state of low libido, right, to a 200% high level libido. That is how magical a massage is. I mean, it's a little bit sensual and sexual right now. So you can just imagine this right now, right? In your heart of hearts. Just imagine that you are naked, right? And your partner is also naked. Your husband is naked right now. Your wife is naked. And both of you are gliding your bodies, they're gliding your body on your partner's body. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are you imagining this right now? You need to be able to put yourself in that state of imagination and see that even from the imagination, it is arousing. If you take your time to focus and imagine that it's arousing. Talk less of actually making it happen in real life. Okay, so a massage can do a lot of magic. Okay, so if you've not been doing a massage prior to this time, I encourage you to incorporate this into your sex routine. Very important. Naked shower, just stay under the shower together, and both of you are bathing yourselves. It's so sweet, goodness. You know, when you're rubbing him on his body, he's rubbing you. It's beautiful. I mean, you see that it will improve the level of intimacy. You would bond more. You would bond more. It is therapeutic. You know, it is beautiful. So you can imagine at the stage you're doing this. I mean, sex would be beautiful. So, like I said, oral sex, mutual masturbation. You know, like I said the other time, you know, I already mentioned that some of us would have some very strong reservations about some things. But you know, it's my job as a sex coach, as a sexuality coach, to tell you everything. So it's not left for you to see what you can do and what you cannot do. Nothing is forceful here, all right? So now, for mutual masturbation, for example, it can be very sensual, highly sexual. It is highly therapeutic. It is a form of foreplay that is fantastic. I mean, when I mean mutual masturbation, it means you and husband, you and your wife, you are sexually stimulating yourselves, right? And, you know, it can hit the level of, you know, sensitivity also, all right? Now, all of this put together, okay, will help you double your desire for sex. And penetration, by the time intercourse itself happens, it's going to be beautiful. Even you will not be trusting for more than just few minutes. But because of the level you put yourself prior to penetration, you'll see that by the time your husband finally penetrates you, or you penetrate your wife, everything is just beautiful. You know? All right. Now, still on the aspect of intimacy. All right. So here, you know, I talked about physical intimacy the other time. Emotional intimacy. Showing affection also is also important in this aspect. In fact, this is what emotional intimacy is all about your emotions, the mind. You know, there's also a level of show of affection in physical intimacy, which could be buying of gifts, you know, holding hands together, you're kissing yourselves, I mean, you're hugging yourself so dearly. You know, that warm embrace can be very soothing. It's needed, all right? Now, for emotional intimacy, when you show affection, how do you show affection? Matters of the heart. When there are resolved issues, I mean, you're not having anything against each other, you know, you are loving yourselves truly. Your emotions, you put your emotions first before anything. I mean, you know that your wife is not happy about something, you try to make her happy. You know your husband is not happy about a particular discussion you both had, you try to make him happy. You know, all of this play a very strong role in how you can enjoy sex. And don't forget that because you are in menopausal stage or andropausal stage, you already have different factors limiting your sex drive already. You have these factors limiting your sex drive already. So if you are not actively doing these things, I mean, just say that you are not enjoying sex at all in this period, okay? Now, we are getting to this part using distraction techniques, okay? I call them distraction techniques. What are distraction techniques? You know, these are techniques that can take your mind off reality. It takes your mind off anything that is happening as at that time. When you are lost in thoughts, it could be watching erotic videos together, okay? Please, in case the video is freezing, if it's freezing at some point, please kindly call my attention to it so I can repeat what I just said, okay? I hope it's not freezing. Oh, I can't hear you again. I hope it's not freezing.
It's not.
Okay, great.
It's not.
So like I said,
you're still on that point.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So when you watch erotic videos together, I do not mean porn, don't get me wrong, I do not mean porn, but they are actually erotic movies that couples, even older couples, can watch. Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra is a fantastic one. You know, there are erotic videos, erotic movies that you can download from Google, you know, download from the internet and watch together. You know, when you watch this together, you know, and you're resting your head on his shoulder, you know, or on his chest, and it's also putting his arms around, you know, you feel loved. You know, there's this force of emotions that is playing as at this time, which can help you increase your desire for sex, actually. All right? You can read erotic books together. Read erotic books together. I know you want to read your Bibles, you want to read your Quran. I know at this stage, you're praying for your children, for your grandchildren, and all of that. It doesn't also stop you from, remembering your sex life as well. Okay, so reading erotic books together. There's so many eroticals you can find on the internet. All right, there are so many eroticals you can even ask, sex coaches like us to create for you. Something we can create that you can read that would excite you sexually, all right? And then exercising together. Let me tell you something about exercising together, all right? This is one technique that I share in my classes or in my session, Honestly, do you know that at this stage, when you have a naked exercise together, oh my goodness, naked exercise, yes. So you're probably all alone together at home. At this stage as well, I mean, if your children are married already, it's probably just you and daddy that is at home, and or maybe the children are in the university or in high school or something. So that period of you both being alone at home, sometimes exercise together. You can have a naked exercise together. I mean, he's naked, you're naked, and you're both trying to do a squat. I mean, just bend down, go up, bend down, go up, or you're practicing yoga exercises together. Do you know how sensual that is? So both of you are here together, you have your exercise mat on the floor, and then you're lying down, and he's on top of you, he's helping you to do some lifts, come up, go down. Do you know how that is? I mean, the visuals, the breasts up, down, and you're also seeing his down pennies, the way he's also trying to help you come up and go down. All of this can actually stimulate your desire for sex. They are highly stimulating. So you can put all of this, so you can say as distraction techniques, using distraction techniques. They are actually very distracting. I mean, when you're naked on your exercise mat and he's also naked, he's on top of you, and he's trying to help you do some yoga exercises, you can type yoga exercises on YouTube, there are a lot of them on Google. You have your laptop right there in front of you, or your TV or your phone, and try to imitate what they are doing, and both of you are naked. You would have sex minutes. You will not know when you have sex. You can't last 15 minutes together. You would have sex. The desire would just be there. All right? So these things are very, very important. Now, also using sexual positions that can minimize pain and stress. Okay? So we know that at this stage, you can't do everything. That's the honest truth. At this stage, apart from the fact that there's a whole lot with menopause that is limiting your sex drive, right? But also maybe experiencing one underlying health issue, or you're on medication, or you're trying to be careful about your health and all of that. You're doing everything to just avoid stress and pain. I mean, at this stage, you might not want to be doing a rigorous doggy style. I mean, a rigorous doggy style, doggy that, there's a lot of pumping. Even for the man, you might not find, I said there's going to be a drop of muscular energy. Your energy is reduced. So the honest truth is that you might not even have the energy to go that far. But then there are also sexual positions that you both can enjoy. A spoon sex position is one that I recommend. Oh, I don't have the image here. I thought I did. I thought I put it here. All right. So a spoon sex position is, when you lie sideways. So you lie sideways on your side, and then it penetrates you from behind in that position. It's fantastic. All right. It's relaxing. It reduces no stress. When you have sex in the morning, early morning sex, for example, I sent there was an article in the group, in the WhatsApp group on morning sex. If you remember, if you read that particular write-up, excuse me, about morning sex, I explained that morning sex is therapeutic. It's very, very good, for you. So, for example, right, if you engage in morning sex, let me tell you what morning sex does, okay? I'm still going to go back to the sexual position. This just reminded me of the aspect of morning sex. So, morning sex, for example, naturally, because you are experiencing andropause as a man, you have very low level of testosterone, right? Now, when you decide to have sex early in the morning, it is just natural for you to enjoy more dosage of testosterone in the morning. Your body naturally produces higher levels of testosterone. So you see that when you engage in morning sex in this stage, you're likely to perform better in the morning than any other time of the day. Why? Because you are coming from a state of rest, from a state of relaxation. I mean, you've been sleeping, your body has been in a relaxed state, and then you want to have sex. Okay? You want to have sex. So you're going to find it very high performing. You will last longer, you will stay longer when you engage in morning sex, because naturally the level of testosterone are high, all right, in this period. Now, for the woman as well, of course, you would enjoy morning sex better too. Why? Because you are also coming from a relaxed state, okay? Your body has been well relaxed. And just imagine in the morning, you just turn sideways a little, and your man penetrates you from behind. Spoon style, no stress, no issues. I mean, before he penetrates you, he's now aware that, a whole lot can go down. So he engages in a little bit of foreplay. He's touching your nipples, grabbing you from behind, touching your back, touching you everywhere, because that level of touch is encouraged. Okay? This is to the husbands here, to the men here. Please, foreplay is strongly encouraged at this stage. You need to give foreplay. All right? The women too should give foreplay to their men too. I mean, it's mutual. But then we all know that when it comes to sexual response, right, the level of sexual response for a woman is it takes more time than that of a man. Even when you are not in your menopausal stage, even in your younger years, I mean, you can tell that when he touches you, when he spends time touching you, you enjoy sex better, you get wetter, you are more lubricated, you are more aroused, because it touches you for a longer period, unlike when it is minimal. So in this stage as well, it is advised that a longer time for foreplay is very, very important. You take your time to do all this. So in the morning, you're doing morning sex, for example, and you touch the breast, you do everything in that relaxed position, and then you're just on your side and penetrating from behind. I mean, sex has happened, everybody's happy, and it's a relaxing sex position. A doggy style, a flat doggy, excuse me. A flat doggy style. When I mean a flat doggy style, so yes, this is also a beautiful sex to explore. It's relaxing. I mean, you don't have to do all the pumping that will take your energy. I mean, you can just, for you as the woman, you're just here, lying down nicely like this on your knees, and then it penetrates you like this slowly and, in a pace, your body and yourself. Now, for the woman, you can as well stretch completely like this. Like you do a complete stretch like this, and then you as the man, you penetrate her from behind, in this relaxing position. These are sexual positions that take away stress, really. They minimize pain because of the low level of estrogen in this period. I told you, you experience dryness, and when you experience dryness, it is accompanied with pain. You feel pain during sex. You feel tears, cuts, you won't really enjoy the sex. So if you also choose sexual position that will minimize the pain and stress, it just makes it more fun. A slow missionary position, our regular missionary style, where you open your legs and you're lying down and it's just going easy. Okay, and everybody is happy. All right, so you can explore, sex positions that will help you minimize pain and stress. Now, another thing here, which I think I talked about it already, effective communication. Effective communication. Talking is therapeutic too. Talking about what exactly you want, what exactly you desire with sex. You can plan your sex. You can schedule sex, because in this stage, I said that it is more responsive sexual desire pattern, other than spontaneous. That's the honest truth. At this stage, I not really respond to spontaneous activities. That means you're not aware that sex is going to happen. Then you just want sex to happen. You might not really go down well because you might not be as wet as you should. You might not desire sex like you should really do at this stage. But when you schedule sex, you plan sex, all right? You intentionally plan sex in this period. It helps you enjoy sex better. So for example, you can have a getaway, or that, this weekend it's just me and my husband. We send the kids to the boarding house, or the kids are in university, or they've traveled for holiday or something. Just you and daddy alone in the house, and then you are everything you should do as couples. You're exploring, enjoy yourself. All right, talking about this thing, making plans for it. It is also highly encouraged for you to enjoy sex together. Okay. Now, there's also usage of hormone and therapy supplements. When it comes to hormone therapy, that is best discussed with your doctor, all right, or your gynecologist. They know the best form of therapy, hormone to give. For some doctors, they would inject you with estrogen to increase your level of estrogen to enjoy sex, to have a higher sex drive. But for sexologists, we do not really encourage that, because we know that it can affect your heartbeat. We don't want you to encounter health issues again because you're trying to enjoy sex. So I usually would not even advise hormone therapy or something. I would rather advise something instead. I can see Madam Musimola, I think I saw something like menopause, if I'm right. There's a supplement to the group that should always recommend. Supplements like that. I'm sure that if we read the labels, all right, there's also going to be some of the active ingredients that will also relate to your sex drive to help you, improve on your sex drive, to have an increased sex drive as well. So supplements like that and many more are also highly encouraged. Okay, and before we start taking questions, I mean, from time to time, this one is very, very important. So just like you visit your hospital, just like you go to the hospital, you go for regular medical checkups, you want to have your heart beating fine, you want to know that your cholesterol level, everything is in place, your BP is in place, everything, sugar level. It is the same way you can actively engage a sex therapist, right? So you can engage a sex therapist to a monthly visit to your sex therapist, right? Or quarterly visits, whichever way you want it. And the interesting thing about sex therapy is that we so much place confidentiality in high regard. So you don't necessarily even have to walk into the office physically. There are online activities, all right, whereby you have your own sex therapist that helps you to do some sort of follow-up, you check in with your therapist to know how you're doing. I mean, you're enjoying some level of intimacy. If you need more education, if you need more psychological conditioning to help you enjoy sex better, you do this from time to time. It's also going to help you keep your level of sexual pleasure in place, right? In place. So it's very important to do, okay? So do we can start, do we have any questions? We can take questions now, or do you still want me to continue? Excuse me.
Thank you very much.
It's raining seriously here. You're welcome.
It's also raining here. Thank you very, very much. Before we take questions, maybe I should just give you 1 minute to just round up.
Okay.
Just round up. Sorry, I didn't get that. I said you should. Let me give you 2 minutes to round up, then we'll start asking questions.
Okay, great. Okay, so to round this up, all right, yes. Please let's take important note. How we're jotting these things down. All right. First of all, excuse me, get your lubricant. It is very, very important. Please don't use Vaseline. Yes, I forgot to mention that. Don't use Vaseline. Vaseline and non-water-soluble lubricants. I mean, they're not even lubricants, but then let me tell you what Vaseline does. What Vaseline does is that it gets you wet. I mean, it might make you temporarily wet. You might feel like you're wet because that's like you putting jelly on your vulva, excuse me, or on the penis, all right? And it can cause bruises for you, tears, excuse me. It can also damage the condom as well. Okay. Excuse me.
Sorry, Ireti. Okay, let me give you.
You can take some water. You can take some water.
Let me give you 2 minutes. Let me give you 2 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. Before Ireti comes back on, let's just do a wrap up. Well, this is some of the things that we have been talking about initially. The changes that take place in our body. She spoke to us about estrogens and testosterone. She also spoke to us about, especially the women, when the estrogen level goes down, you have you have the time to get aroused also changes. And then she also mentioned factors that affect. You have this. We have also spoken in 1 or 2 of our lectures: depression, anxiety, medication, underlying sex, lack of exercise, insomnia, the lack of foreplay. Ireti, are you back now? Hello, Ireti, are you back?
Yeah.
Are you back?
I'm here. Yes.
Okay. Okay, she told us all those things. Okay, before any other person asks his or her own question, let me ask mine. I want you to explain towards further. What you mean by mutual masturbation? I've never heard that word.
Okay.
And secondly, I want you to expatiate further what you said, Kama Sutra, exotic videos. Where can we get it?
Okay. Excuse me. So for mutual masturbation, we all know that masturbation is self-pleasure, right?
Yeah.
It's self-pleasure. But then, some couples find it offensive when you engage in self-pleasure in absentia, all right? So we know that we encourage couples doing stuff together instead of doing it behind each other, okay? So mutual masturbation is simply couples engaging in self-pleasure at the same time. Let me cite an example for you. Like your partner is in you, stroking his penis, and maybe you have your toy. Okay, I forgot to mention the part of sex toy as well. So maybe you use a sex toy, for example. All right, so you have your toy and you're stimulating breast, your vulva, while your partner is also stroking his penis. It is actually mentally and visually exciting, okay, for both of you. There's a level of arousal. There's a state of arousal it takes you to you engage in that. But some people would say, no, I cannot touch myself. Never. I can't do that. But then in this instance, the couples are together, right? The couples are together. So the couples are together facing yourselves, or you're probably sitting side by side or lying side by side, right? So stroking his penis, you're also doing turns, and it just leads to something else entirely, and you guys are really enjoying yourself. It's actually mentally stimulating. All right. Now for you also mentioned Kama Sutra. So Kama Sutra are like they are erotic videos which teaches different sex positions. It's actually very sexual, different sex positions. But the reason why we encourage Kama Sutra instead of porn is because porn is not real. Porn is there's a lot of acting and unrealistic expectations that comes with pornography. But Kama Sutra is like sex positions that are taught in the videos, all right, which can also be mentally stimulating. So a couple, for example, is watching a Kama Sutra video of a doggy position, right? In a Kama Sutra video, for every time, for every aspect that is explored, I mean, it looks, it's teachable, all right? It's teachable. That you're alongside getting sexually excited, you're also learning something. It's more realistic. You can relate with a Kama Sutra easily than a porn. All right, and other erotic videos too, like erotic movies. Erotic movies. I'm not a movie person, but then I do a little research to help. I know there's 1360 or something on Netflix that everybody's always talking about. That is very, very sensual. So, and I'm sure if you go on Google to type erotic videos, erotic movies, I'm sure you'll find some help. Right? Yeah. So that's that. I hope that answers the question, man.
Thank you very much, Ireti. Okay, we have people in the house that would like to ask Ireti direct questions? If you're here, you want to ask direct questions, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Okay, so we have questions from people, from YouTube and also here on Zoom from the chat box. So can I read it?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so we have one. They
yes.
said there is this general belief, especially in Nigeria, that eating or consuming sugary items can affect libido, apart from the other factors that Ireti has mentioned. How true is this? So that's the first question. Would you like to answer that now, or I should read the others? Okay, I think Ireti went off. Maybe she'll be joining us again.
Back.
Okay,
sorry,
she's back.
My question is this.
Okay, please hold on. If you have questions, just hold on a bit, please.
Okay. I didn't get the question we were asking last time.
Okay, so what I was asking, can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Okay, I said there is this general belief, especially in Nigeria, that eating or consuming sugary items can affect libido, apart from the other factors that Ireti has mentioned. How true is this?
Yes, very true. Very, very true. So when you take too much of sugar, right? When you take too much of sugar, it can actually affect not your sex drive, but then it can affect your sexual performance. Okay, it can affect how you will perform with sex. All right. So just as you're in this stage, you are also advised to sorry, you're also advised to do some lifestyle habits. I mean, exercise, you're probably on a diet, all of this also works for your sex life as well. So in fact, I feel that when you go to the hospital and you are placed on a diet and all, it's not just working for that particular illness.
Can you please, good evening? Can you hear me?
Please just hold on. Just hold on, please.
Okay.
We lost her. Just hold on, ma'am. Let's just hold on for like 1 minute so that she can come back. Ireti, are you back? Ireti, are you back?
She's not back yet.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about that. The network, the rain. Okay. Okay. So, like I was saying, okay. So yes, when you take sugary things, even alcohol, when there's a high level of alcohol consumption, it can affect your sex life. I know this is arguable because I mean people say stuff like, oh, when I take alcohol, it makes me feel pumped. All right. So yes, if you take a little, level of alcohol, it's still reasonable. But when you take a high level of alcohol, I mean, it's not encouraged. So alcohol also has sugar. There's sugar in alcohol as well. So yes, that belief is right. So you should not take too much of sugar. I mean, instead of sugar foods or drinks, you can replace it with fruits. Right? So even your fruit intake as well. We all know that even though we know that pineapple is very fantastic and helps with one's sex life, you should also take it in moderation because of your sugar level. All right. So I mean, I would advise that you do more of excuse me, apples. I mean, apples can really help you with lubrication in this stage. Yes, you take apples all the time. I mean, an apple a day is very helpful. Lots of water. Okay, watermelon. Watermelon is fantastic. Tiger nut. Tiger nut is fantastic. I mean, tiger nut, you can actually make this a part.
Sorry for that break. I'm sure she should be able to come back home soon. Let's just hold on for 1 or 2 more minutes. Ireti, are you back? Okay. Can we just have the questions? Hello, ma.
Should we allow someone
if she
to
doesn't
speak,
come
or
back,
should just read others first?
No, if she doesn't come back online, we'll compile all the questions and probably send it to her, because I can't answer those questions.
Yes, I understand. I think I have them already here, so
Okay, but you can just read them
we
out so
can
that
send
everybody
them
can
to
hear.
her.
Or just read them out. Read out
Okay,
the
so
questions.
we have one. So my question is, the sex enhancers, do they have
Okay,
side effects?
she's back.
Okay.
She's back.
Okay, so
So maybe
I think I need to start this point. I'm so sorry, please. It keeps going on and off. Okay, so excuse me. Like I said, please, can you bring me back? Kindly bring me back.
You're already back. We can hear you.
Question.
okay.
Okay.
So the first question. I should move to the next one.
I think I answered the first one already, right?
Yes, you have. So the next one is does sex enhancers have side effects?
Okay, so sex enhancers. How do you mean sex enhancers? You know, because some people actually confuse fortifiers as enhancers. You know, there are different things all over the internet now. You get to hear about something, Viagra, this and that. You know, different things. So if I can get you right, I want to believe that what you mean by answers are like the likes of Viagra's, right? Viagra's, all those performance drugs and all of that. Me, and I'm sure my colleagues can also attest to this, we do not really recommend usage of enhancers. Why? Because we believe that sex begins from the mind. We believe that it is you need to have the right mental conditioning to enjoy sex. So this is the reason why you see that even at face and buy all these kaya matters, you can take a lot of gorontulas. Don't get me wrong, gorontulas are natural sweeteners, enhancers. They're natural. I mean, as long as you're sure that it's not fortified, you know, even for men as well. I mean, men also do take gorontulas as well. It's also good for them, right? But then, in the event that you are actually taking these things because you want to see an instant miracle to enhance the sex, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, you see that when you use these things, right? Because your mind has been conditioned to think that it's going to work. It looks like it will work instantly. Then you now see that it's a temporary result you're getting. And after a while, you're still back to square one and struggle with your sex life again. Okay, so this is not to spell business for anyone in enhancement, sexual enhancement business. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. Well, I'm just trying to help you understand this from the psychological part. All right. So it is better, right? It is better you develop a mindset for sex. You're intentional with these things, right? And then you go the natural way. I mean, fruits are also enhancers, whether we like it or not. I talked about watermelon the other time, tiger nuts. I mean, libido is also, as I said, libido. Gorilla is also fantastic because it's nature's aphrodisiac, actually. It's natural, all right? So these are, enhancers that I encourage. But you see all those drugs that will say something performance, 20 minutes will last you 50. I do not encourage them because even Viagra's, Viagra's, all those very, very high level aphrodisiacs, what it does to you in the long run is that in the event you don't have access to this enhancers, you won't be able to perform because you're used to it already, right? And even when you have access to them, we all know that too much of everything is bad. I mean, you don't want something to affect your heart. you want something to affect your health. All right, so it's better you go natural. All right, and to add to that, I also didn't remember to mention sex toys. Sex toys are also can also be very helpful at this stage. All right, so when I mean sex toys, like for the ladies, a vibrator. All right, a vibrator in use during foreplay. So during foreplay with your man, so it's not, when we hear sex toys, what comes to our mind is that, oh, to bring in another penis into the house. Never. You are new. What rubbish is that? I've had couples argue in my sessions like, never, oh, you don't try it, But then when we talk about sex toys, really, they are not necessarily focusing on dildos. They are actually toys that have been, created, they have been built to help you enjoy sexual pleasure, not to replace your man, not to replace you as a man, not to undermine your capability as a man. No, okay, they are also enhancers. It makes foreplay interesting. So just imagine a woman in a menopausal stage that has a reduced sensitivity to touch, and you bring in a vibrator like this, something like this, and you use this during foreplay. You're still the one doing it. I mean, nobody has taken your place. Nothing strange has happened. Both of you are still having fun. You're still the one giving pleasure in real sense. But what you've just been able to do successfully here is that because she's in a level where she does not easily get heightened sensitivity, you've been able to help her to get a heightened sensitivity in speed of time. That's what you've done. So if during foreplay, for example, maybe when she was in her 20s or 30s, if you put your fingers on her vulva like this, she's wet already, she's feeling your fingers, she's enjoying it. And now when you put your fingers on her vulva, she's not getting wet the way she should. And then you introduce this, right? The stronger vibration from this, all right, can double the speed of arousal and sensitivity. That's just the magic that has happened. That's all. All right. So I also encourage sex toys. This particular one is a couple toy. It's advisable for couples. So she can use it on you. You can use it on her as well. So it's not like it's only for the woman. The woman can also use, you can also use it on your husband during massage, to help him enjoy stronger vibrations, feel more relaxed, right?
Thank you very much, Ireti.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yes,
ma'am. The next question.
Yes. So the next question now is from, okay. So they said, what can a woman who is a widow do? Because enjoying sex means she has to find a man who maybe is someone else's husband. So she's asking that, does the use of sex toy, does it work for such a person, or how can a person enjoy sex?
Okay, so if you are, it all depends on you. If you're not willing to start a new life afresh with another man, all right, of course, sex toys are advisable. They are fantastic. You can, if you don't have any reservations whatsoever against it, please go ahead. You can get recommendations when you ask questions. If you engage me, for example, I can educate you on suitable sex toys for you. Suitable sex toys that you can explore with. So yes, you can use sex toys. They're fantastic sex toys that will help you enjoy, very high level of orgasm, and it's just good to go enjoying yourself. All right. So yes, you can.
All right. So the next question now. Just 2 weeks ago, I started taking a capsule called Beauty Complex and called Liver.
Started taking what? I didn't get
Monday now. Just 2 weeks ago, I started taking a capsule called Beauty Complex and called Liver Oil. Since Monday now, I have been experiencing discharge. What might have caused it?
Oh,
Wait, let me answer that
Okay.
question.
Okay.
We need to find out how old that woman is. What I think that woman is actually going through is structural changes in her vagina. Is not the multivitamin that is making her to have that discharge. Structural changes of her vagina. She needs to read more and get more knowledge about vulvar change due to low estrogen level. Next question. Okay.
All right, so the next question now is, how do you tackle the issue of farting during sexual intercourse?
Okay, so when it comes to, first of all, there is a sound that is similar to farting, which is not farting actually. So if you're saying farting, let me help you understand the differences, okay? So there is what we call queefs, Queef, all right? Queef. So queefing is like, it sounds like fart during sex. So what happens here is that, yeah, exactly, queef. So air is trapped inside your vagina during intercourse. I mean, that's just what happens, which, in fact, some men actually enjoy it. Some kids enjoy it as well. I mean, just if it can be exciting, and some people are embarrassed by it. If it is farting, it means that you actually probably farting with smell, which I'm guessing it's not. I'm certain you're mistaking a queef for fart. So please, if you queef during sex, it's not a big deal. There's nothing wrong with you queefing during sex. Enjoy the queefs, all right? It's not abnormal. All right, even younger ladies queef during sex, so it's nothing. All right, so just a simple explanation for you to know that when air is just trapped in the vagina, that's when you queef. That's all.
Okay, so second to last question now. So someone is asking, does use of estrogen cream have advantage over the use of tabs, considering the side effects of estrogen tabs to increase our estrogen level?
Well, I don't think it should have any effect. I mean, if you are using an estrogen cream, the idea is that you want it to help you lubricate in that area. And you are also using a tablet, an estrogen tablet. I don't think it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem, all right? But then you see that sometimes, even as you're using this thing, you're using cream, you're using a tablet as well, sometimes you may not still be wet. You may not still lubricate like you want. So this is where your mind, all right, also comes to play. So for every supplement or anything you're doing, always have it at the back of your mind that enjoying sex begins from the mind, then every other thing follows. Okay? Do we have more questions?
Can I say one or two? Can I say something concerning that estrogen cream?
Okay.
Whether it's estrogen cream or the tablet, they are both hormonal. And documentations have proven that hormonal drugs, hormonal replacements, they have some side effects that along the way are not very good with. They cause cardiovascular effects. And because of this, you can't just wake up one day and say, I want to use estrogen cream. You need to see a consultant. You cannot initiate the use of estrogen cream by yourself. You have to the doctor has to examine you before you can go ahead. But you ask me, I will tell you just use lubricants and avoid hormonal drugs as much as you can. Next question.
Okay, so the next question right now is, I'm always having fever ever since I entered this new phase of life, which I'm sure malaria and typhoid is ruled out. Then, so does it mean that use of Menopause can improve my condition?
Okay, the feelings of feverish conditions while fever and typhoid or whatever has been ruled out, those are just signs and symptoms of menopause. That's what you call hot flashes or hot flushes. And then menopause or other supplements have been found to be very, very effective. Exercise, change of diet, also very effective. Next question.
So the final question right now, how do women at this stage, I mean the menopause stage, squirt?
Okay, how do women at this stage squirt? All right, so first of all, right, there's something that I always say. If you've been following my page, you'd have been seeing it. In fact, there's an argument of squirt on my page right now. Every vagina, okay, as long as you own a vagina, you are capable of squirting, but not every woman will squirt. You can say that it's kind of dicey. So mean that every vagina can squirt really, if everything is in place, right? But not everyone will squirt. Okay. So I mean, to make squirting easy, toys can actually help you experience squirting, okay, because of the forceful and stronger vibrations that they have. All right, and also more intense stimulation. I mean, for you to experience squirting, there has to be a level of intense stimulation. If the stimulation is not intense, you are unlikely to squirt. So an intense stimulation on your G-spot or on your clitoris is very likely to help you experience squirting. All right. And in the event that you are not squirting, even when you do all of this, please don't put yourself under any form of pressure. Okay. I mean, like I said, not every woman will squirt, not because they can't, I mean, for some reasons best known to them, maybe they are holding back. So even when you do all those things, if you are still holding back, it feels like you want to urinate and you're holding back the urge to pee. Or maybe you have it in your mind thinking, oh, I want to urinate. So you're embarrassed about it and you're scared to expel the fluid, you will not squirt. All right. So toys are fantastic. And intense stimulation with fingers on your clitoris, toys, your G-spot as well will definitely help you experience squirting. All right. And it's gradual. It may come out in trickles initially, before you know it is coming like a fountain or in trickles. Yeah.
All right. I think somebody wants to ask a question.
Yes, okay. I think someone wants to ask a question. The person can turn on his or her mic and ask now, please.
I want to ask this question, please. At what age of disturbing a lady? At what age, please?
Sir, I didn't hear you very well.
I said, at what age does menopause stop disturbing a lady?
Okay. So I think from late 50s into 60s, sometimes. Sorry, I think it's very.
Let me answer.
Okay, I think she's in the best position to answer that.
Okay, your body starts to change, and it doesn't stop to change. It starts changing at like 40. Some people are 38. That's what you call early menopause. It starts changing, but it doesn't stop to change. And you see, the rate at which everybody's system changes is very, very different. Perimenopause, that is the period at which your body system starts to change. Perimenopause will go from 4 years to 7 years to some people 10 years, and you'll still be seeing your period. Then you have menopause itself, that is which you do not see your period at all. During perimenopause, you have your period dwindling. You see, from 5 days, it goes to 4 days. From 4 days, it goes to 3 days. Then you start seeing some signs and symptoms. And you see, because of that estrogen level, it affects every organ of your system. Today, you have headache. Tomorrow, you cannot sleep. The next day, you wake up with pains all over your body. Then you have your stomach getting big. Then you have tenderness in your breast. All these are called, and that is why menopause is called a syndrome. That is collection of many signs and symptoms. Then you also have what we call post-menopause.
Yeah.
The period, some of the signs and symptoms that you see during perimenopause or menopause sometimes is being aggravated during post-menopause, and in some people it gets reduced. So I can't actually, nobody can actually tell you that these signs and symptoms or when you're 65 or when you're 70. It depends on how you manage yourself. Do you engage exercises? Have you changed your system, your diet? What are those things that you're doing? Now Ireti has taught us so much about sex and lovemaking. It helps during menopause. So try and incorporate all these things that you have heard. It will actually help you to manage better those signs and symptoms. Any other question, Buki? We need to go.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. We've answered all questions. Thank you very much, Ma.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Ireti. It's really been a wonderful time. I have learned
Slow, I can't hear you very well. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me. Okay, I said
it's better
a
now.
very big thank you to you, Ireti. I have learned a lot. I have learned a lot. This is an eye-opener. And on behalf of everybody, every member of the Meno Club, the Meno Club is the first and the only support group for seniors. On behalf of every member of the Meno Club, I say very big thank you to you, Ireti, for taking time out to enlighten us, to educate us, so that we can have a better relationship with our spouses, so that we can enjoy aging more, because this is a new phase of life entirely for us. I hope that on you will be able to attend to us.
I didn't get that, sorry. It keeps
I hope
going
that
on.
the next time we call on you, you'll be able to attend to us.
Yes, definitely. I would love to do this again and again. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I feel honored and I feel elated to do this with older couples. And I'm glad that you all have enjoyed the session and also learned so much. So thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this. Thank you all. Thank you, mommies, daddies. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, we call it a night, yeah?
Yes. Thank you very
so
much,
Madam Smaller.
Yeah,
all right. Have a beautiful night. Thank you. Bye. Yeah.
And to every member of the Meno Club, thank you. Without you, there's no Health Vibes with Mosumola. Without you, there's no Meno Club. On behalf of my team and I,
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope we've learned. Please don't let us only learn. No, let us go and practice.
Thank you. We love you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you some other time. Thank you. Good night. We'd like to hear your comments on the platform. Please share your comments with us on the platform. Encourage us. Thank you very much.
Love you.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Don't forget to follow us on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook at Health Vibes with Mosumola, and also on our YouTube. You can always go back to watch this video on YouTube. It's available on YouTube. So go and check it on YouTube at Health Vibes with Mosumola as well. And don't forget to follow Ireti as well if you want to learn more on sexual pleasures and all that it entails. You can also follow her on Instagram. God bless us all. We look forward to our next webinar as well. So please do well to share the group link to everybody, your friends and family, so they can join and not miss out. God bless you all. Have a good night rest, everyone.
Thank you very much, Buki. We appreciate you too. It was a very nice one. Very nice one. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Please share your comments with us on the platform.
Good night.